Jai Mata Kali, Jai Mata Durge, Jai Mata Kali, Jai Mata Durge, Kali Durge, Namo Nama, Kali Durge, Namo Nama, Kali Durge, Namo Nama, Kali Durge, Namo Nama, Kali Durge, Namo Nama. Good evening. Every Tuesday at 8, we are giving this update in English, so people from overseas can feel welcome here and can get to know a little bit more of what's going on here at our sanctuary. This past week was a tough one. I mean, it's never easy to live here, to be here. It's never easy to face everything that master animals face every single day on earth. But some weeks are tougher than others. And this past week was one of them. This past week we had, unfortunately, Master Isis and Master Phoenix. They both went to a clinic. We are still fighting for their lives, but we understand that every single thing that happened in their past, every single thing is causing the troubles that they have today. So even though that we have all this medical assistance, even though that we have supplemented them, even though that they have special nutrition, even though that they are loved, they are cared for, is still they are facing the consequences of the abuse they suffered before their rescue. So at this clinic, we are hoping every day that a kind of miracle will happen, but we know that we are only trying to make their souls heal. Because really what we see, especially Master Isis, because Master Isis is the one that is sick. This is something important for us to understand. Master Isis is sick, but her friend, Master Phoenix, just doesn't allow her to go on her own. So this is something else that we are working on. In other words, we are trying to let Master Phoenix know that Master Isis is very sick and they both need time. Again, sometimes it's not a matter of healing their bodies. Sometimes it's something about their souls, because not every single time we rescue them, we can give them a happy life. Sometimes what we do is trying to provide a happy end. And happy end is something that's every now and then we try to think it over, to try to explain to you what does it mean. But sometimes when we, just imagine this, sometimes we live without any kind of love, any portion of love in our lives. And in the end, we might get to know some love. So this can be translated as a happy end, even though that it wasn't a happy life. Does it make sense? So because of this, because of all these conditions, again, because they are sick, because they are afraid, because every now and then we face troubles greater than our capacity to solve them, we just go and take a deep breath and think, okay, we can give them a happy end. Of course, we need to think bigger when we are thinking about all others that are not at our sanctuary. We need to think about giving them a happy life. And even to the ones here is still living, is still facing the consequences of the abuse the same way. I'm just thinking and talking about when there is nothing left to do. So we must make sure that they go in peace. Then we must make sure that their souls are happy, that their spirits are free. Because sometimes if their souls and their spirits, when they are not free, they still go on suffering. This is what we believe. So again, we need to look after them. We need to look after them when they are alive on this planet, when they are alive beyond this planet. When they come back, and we are hoping that they will, we hope that they still have some time with us. But again, we are just waiting for a miracle, because at this point, every single medical doctor that we tried to talk, that we talked, that we spoke, every single one told us that it's very hard to believe that she will recover. I'm not sure if you guys remember her story, but she was the one that was rescued pregnant, and she lost her baby. And besides losing her baby, she became very sad, and all of the sadness became something even bigger than there's somebody playing here. It became something even bigger to her health, to the point that we are almost losing her. By a cosmic coincidence, last Saturday, another master horse living here, a very old one, she was rescued pulling a cart, and she had a broken arm. She lived here for, yes, we too are very sorry. It's just like, it's painful for us just to imagine, but it's even more painful for them to live this. So thank you very much for feeling her pain. And Master Jacira, she was rescued with a broken arm, and by this cosmic coincidence, she's very old now. She lives here for about 6 or 7 years now, and she has a very decent life, even though that she has a broken arm. Every single time that we're talking about a master horse, or even a master bull, a master cow with a broken arm or a broken leg, we are facing a challenge that is beyond the nature of the pain they feel in their body. And I will explain. When we talk about broken arms and broken legs in this kind of master animals, we're talking about a society that believes that when these master animals break, they need to be put down because they do not serve humankind anymore. And this is even more painful than the injury itself. Because it's just like, okay, if we are thinking about a master animal, we could say, okay, I only have the right to be alive if I can do something for them. Again, as a master animal thinking. And if I cannot do anything anymore, then they're going to put me down. So again, it hurts even more the injury itself, because it means that we are putting them into suffering, into agony. And then when they need us, we just say, okay, you don't serve me anymore, so you don't have any value, I'm going to put you down. And this is, again, the challenge that we face when we have this kind of situation, this kind of rescue. Because basically the medical care doesn't care for this kind of master animals. And this is something that we also need to change. So here I'm going to talk a little bit about veganism not being a diet. When we are talking about veganism on our plates, we are talking about a plant-based diet, which is fine, and that helps lots and lots and lots of master animals, and we need to keep doing that. Okay, that's one step. But I'm also here to tell that we need to think about master horses, and we need to think about master lions, and we need to think about every single master fishes. For instance, master fishes that sometimes we say, okay, I'm on a plant-based diet, I only eat fish. I'm just like, okay, so what do you mean that you eat fish if you are on a plant-based diet or you are a vegetarian? You know, master fishes are not plants. So we need to make sense. We need to start to understand, to get some clarification in our minds. Otherwise, we just spread more confusion. And if we look at the world, we can see a very confused reality, because we are confused human beings are full of confusion, and we need to make sure we clarify this. So many times we say, okay, you're talking about master horses, but I don't do anything with master horses, so I'm fine. I'm not causing them any injury. But we need to think if we like master horses racing, for instance, because you can say, okay, but I'm only seeing this, watching this on television. But okay, you are supporting this in any way. In some way you are. So this is what, again, we need to think about, because it's not something very easy to look at ourselves and realize that sometimes, even though that we want to be nice people and good people and kind people, sometimes we are not. And we are not because, again, we are confused. We think that because we are watching on television, we are not a part of that, but we are supporting. We are supporting horse racing in some way. So we need to stop. So this said, I'm going to talk the last rescue that we did this weekend, also with a master horse. So again, Master Jacira is fine, but she's very old. She's an old lady, and she's having her last moments with Phil. And we are trying again just to give her a happy and peaceful end. And this is very important too. It's very, very important, because can you imagine the time that we are going to leave this planet and we have all kinds of fears and insecurities, and it must be awful. So sometimes just hold the hand of somebody who's leaving and saying everything's going to be okay. We know that we are impacting that soul, because tranquility is something that every single being, not just people, every single being enjoys that. So this is about Master Jacira and the last rescue that we have just did this past weekend. Unfortunately, it was with a master horse as well, and she came from a very, very ugly neighborhood in another town, and people used to play with her and spank her, ride her, and she is completely hurt. And not just her body, but also her emotional being. She's trying to connect again with human beings, but not, of course, in an abusive relationship as she had before. So we feel that she's trying to reach us because they are very pure souls and they want to believe in human beings. They are just so innocent, they are sacred, and she's trying, and we are making sure that she can let herself in the sense of surrendering, of giving herself again, of trusting again. So this is something very beautiful. Again, sometimes we talk about their physical injuries, sometimes we talk about their emotional injuries, and sometimes we talk about both. The point is they heal. And this is something that we must learn, because human beings, every now and then, we go through whatever happens in our lives and we don't heal. We don't forgive. We don't move on. And this is something that master animals, they always teach us. They move on because they forgive, they heal themselves, they trust again, they surrender, they let go. They are very beautiful beings, and we need to honor this beauty that they shine, you know? They shine in this dark world. So every week I'm going to open this live streaming, giving some updates, and every now and then I'm going to invite people here to talk about all these subjects and to share a little bit more. So this is what's happening to her. And besides this, we have Master Nandi. He is this little calf, a master calf, and he has problems with his arms and with his legs because he didn't drink milk from her mom. It's the same old story. No matter where you are in the world, people just rob master cow's milk, and because of this, master calves do not drink their milk, and we have this kind of situation. So anyway, she's being treated, but what has happened, he doesn't want to go back to his home, this little house that we made for him. Now he's just like this little boy, and he wants to play around, and he wants to walk, and he wants to make friends. And here at our sanctuary, we have under our protection Master Juremero and Master Janaína, a Master Bull and a Master Cow, and he doesn't have a leg. One man cut his leg with an axe, and she broke her arm. They both live together, and we are thinking that Master Nandi will be their friend, and they're going to live in a special part of our sanctuary. So we are starting to build this. Probably we will start in the next month because it's rainy season right now for us, so it's very difficult to we have a lot of things going on right now, and we realize that it's even more difficult to try to build this because we only have 3 hours per day. All the other hours are taken by the rain. So again, probably in 1 month. And every now and then people ask about how they can support us. I left here a link that you can support us. It's our website /ashram. Ashram is like a school in Sanskrit, and we think that they are the teachers and we are learning from them. And you can access this website, and there you can find their stories and their teachings and ways to support this mission. And also you can support us writing reviews on an app, a free app called A Billion. So if you have vegan products or vegan dishes, you can post it there, make a review, and then the app will give you $1, and you can make sure that you give away this dollar that the app gave to you. It's not something that you're going to take out of your pocket. And you can choose a sanctuary around the world. We are not the only ones there. You have others to choose from. So I invite you, even if you do not want to support our sanctuary, there are other sanctuaries that you can support, and you also help to grow this vegan community. So it's something very important to say, because again, every single sanctuary, every single person trying to make the difference, no matter if you're talking about master animals, or if you're talking about children, or if you're talking about forests, they need help. So again, if you do not want to support us, just know that you can make a review and support somebody else. And it's great because everyone needs help to make good things. So we count on you. I see Kenya is here. Thank you. So anyhow, so besides this, we are here trying to cope with our emotional bodies as well. And this is perhaps the last update that I'm going to give here and to share here, because every now and then when I see when I and we actually, not just me, but we all, when we see their condition, we get sad and we get frustrated, and even some of you people tell us that even it's an invitation for depression. And I understand it's all very hard what is happening in the world today with every single being, not just master animals. If you're talking about women in the Middle East, for instance, it's something else that we also need to look at and to realize how much, because sometimes I think, okay, how can I help a woman in the Middle East? Oh well, I can be here and make sure that I don't allow any kind of patriarchal war to begin again, to hurt women. So sometimes we cannot go to the point of, again, a woman in the Middle East, or a master animal in Africa, or somebody else someplace else. But we can do something where we are. And when we hold space for good things to happen, I believe that these good things will reach the ones that our arms cannot reach. Does it make sense? So even though that is an invitation for depression, because again, when we look at the world, we can say, okay, everything is lost. We just like we went wrong. There's no way out, but there is a way out. The only way that we cannot go is, or better said, it will not have a way out if we give up. I think this is the correct way to say it. So we cannot allow ourselves to give up. We cannot allow ourselves to be sad to the point of not doing anything. Of course it's sad, and we deal with the sadness in our hearts. Every one of us, in some way, somehow trying to change the world, feels this sadness inside. And that's fine. We cannot look at all of this and say, okay, I'm cool. I'm just, okay, life as it is, and I hope it gets better. Of course we are sad. But this sadness cannot allow us to stop. This depression, this frustration cannot make us say, okay, I'm not going to do anything. Because things are not going to change. People are not listening. Something very bad needs to happen. If we do this, we are just wishing things to go worse. And then, because we are seeing this and we are sad, if they go worse, we too are going to get more and more sad. So it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So again, that's okay. Just feel sad. If you are sad, okay, that's something that we all share at some point. But do not allow this to stop you, because they need you. No matter if you're talking about master animals, no matter if you're talking about the forest, no matter if you're talking about the woman in Middle East again, if we are talking about another races, or if we're talking about other genders, they need us. They need us. If we give up, then there is no chance. So okay, just hold your heart, just embrace your soul, and just say, okay, that's okay to be sad, but we need to move on. We need to keep doing what we must. And sometimes we look what we can do, and we say, this is just too little. This is just not enough to change every single wrong that is in the world today. But if we all get together with these little possibilities of each one of us, then maybe we can create something great and bigger. But again, if we give up, then there is no way out. So I just want to leave this last message here, because again, we are talking about death, we are talking about departures, we are talking about people wanting to put master animals down just because they do not serve humankind anymore. We are talking about deforestation, we are talking about pain of all sorts, and again, we get sad, and that's fine. Just embrace yourself again and say, okay, I'm sad, but I'm not going to stop. Okay, I'm frustrated. Okay, I do not like to look at our humankind and see what I see. But okay, we are going to evolve, we are going to work on it, and we are going to find a way out. Do not allow yourself to stop. Because if we, again, I emphasize, if we give up, there's no way out. So if you are seeing a trouble, if you are seeing a problem in the world, don't expect somebody else to solve it. If you are seeing, you are capable of acting upon it. And I'm not sure what you're going to do, because sometimes people can help with prayer, with money, with opening a sanctuary, with, I don't know, making something for whatever is that problem, to solve that problem. I don't know what you can do. But I know that if you have the eyes to see whatever we are seeing as a problem, we have the heart to solve that. We have the ability to ease that pain, to alleviate that suffering. So do not give up. Do not think that your suffering and your sadness, our suffering, are bigger than the ones actually suffering. And just keep on going. Just keep on going. Because the world needs you. These are the updates that I wanted to give you tonight. And next Tuesday at the same time, we are going to get together again. Thank you so very much for all you people looking at these troubles that we talked about and thinking to yourself, okay, I'm sad, but I think I can help to change this, because this is great. This is the beginning of a miracle. This is the beginning of grace, of blessings. Just do not focus on the problem, just focus on the solution. And veganism is part of the solution, because there are many other things that we can do. It's not just something, okay, I went vegan and I'm fine. No, if you're a vegan, just become an activist. If you are a woman that are doing great things, just inspire other women to do other great things. If you are, I'm not sure who you are and what you can do, but I know that you can do more. And this is what I hope you to do. And thank you very much for supporting our sanctuary. Again, you can search for the ashram, and I'm going to leave the link. It is here, but I'm going to leave after as well. And you can make reviews on Abilium. And we are very, very grateful for having you in our lives. If you want any other updates about, because this is actually something that I planned to say and I almost forgot. If you want some updates on a specific master animal who was rescued here, we have a Telegram channel and you can follow, because it's nearly impossible to give updates about every single one of them. It's nearly impossible because it's just so many things every single day. I'm not sure if you remember, but thank you, Vivian. Vivian is here helping with the link that I just said. If you remember, 2 weeks ago, we rescued a master horse that couldn't breathe. You remember this? He was with a tube here, and he's just like at the clinic, at the hospital even these days, and he is going to go through surgery on Thursday. Again, it's just way too much. As much as we can, I try and I always say, okay, I left somebody out talking about social media. So if you want to have updates on one of them or more than one of them, or more information, just access our Telegram channel. And also in our bio, you can find, in our Linktree, you can find our WhatsApp, our email, and you can write us and ask about somebody that we didn't give update these past days or past weeks. So thank you again. I'm going to finish with a mantra and just leaving. I'm looking here a comment in Portuguese, but I think it has something has to do with the words in English. Vivi, thank you for your comment. Yes, it's hard sometimes, but again, just keep going, because I think it's a temptation, you know. I think it's just like a temptation. We're just, okay, we are going to leave it explode. We are going to just ignore all their pain and all their suffering, and then who is going to help them? Just take a deep breath, embrace your heart. It's okay to be sad, and keep going. Thank you so much. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. See you next week at 8 every single Tuesday. Thank you.